I'm just up in my sway. Stay in my bag, I got plenty for days. Chief and that don't come with no haze. Came a long way for minimum wage. Hey.
All right, guys. So we have Joshua from Vegeta saying, "Army, how you been, man?"
I've been good, man. How have you?
Good. So this is my first collab video, guys. So I had to try to adjust with two phones. So forgive me if the audio seems off. But this will be a short collaboration video until I figure out other things. But yeah, so as you guys know, Vegeta Yellow U7 is the new talk set, the new archetype that's coming out with Yellow. Yellow is really strong despite the ban list. Joshua, how do you feel about that?
From what I heard, I haven't personally played against the deck. From what I've heard, what I read though, Goku looks really good. Just the fact that it can uninteractly win the game, it has life gain. Most of the cards when you combo them, you're pushing pressure into your opponent or their battle cards anyways. So you're gonna be able to replace those cards in hand most of the time. It just seems like a really powerful deck.
Right, and I'll tell you this: I was playing my buddy DeMarcus Simmons on Untap, and I went 4 games. In the 5th game, I actually got a win. And by playing it, I realized that you have to negate a lot. You have to pressure them heavily, like you have to aggro them. You have to basically make them use as many resources as possible. I used Unbridled Power and basically swung with 50K. He did 55, and then of course I ended up. I can't remember. I hit him with the leader, and then I ended up just burning the blowing up the field. But one thing I learned about the deck is it does have that invoker reference with burning a life and you taking a life. It has that little element to it, and it does have. It's a mixture of RaZe U7 Gohan with draw power, with a mixture of invoker, and a mixture of stall. And, it's like they took every element from other yellow cards and put into this deck. And people are saying that the deck is broken. It's really strong, but I don't think the deck is broken. I think that you have to get as many reps in and sequence the deck the right way based on what you always talked about when you play certain decks. I will note that, and I have it here in my notes, is that the meta I feel like is getting slower with all of the stuff that's coming out. Charismatic Frieza is actually a thing now. And when I say a thing, I mean that it's not as daily like it used to be. So it gives us other access to play stronger cards and to play cards that we dreamt of playing. Like you could play Rival Seeker now without worrying about Charismatic.
Yeah. There's a lot of cards that I think weren't seeing play because of these counterplays, and I think that was the reasoning behind getting rid of most of them. Also getting rid of the free Gohan Awakening that kind of toned down. I thought they were going to do something to Solidarity, but I guess it's just too new of a card. So I think they're just trying to dim down green just a bit.
Right, and I mean even the whole the future sets now. It makes me think that with counterplays was a real thing. I mean counterplays. Unison Warrior came out. Free play was a big deal at one point. I think it actually set the bar for it's set the bar for future at the time future games, to where you knew for a fact, if I play this, I need to play these extra cards, and you have to go out your way for other counter cards. If you play Charismatic, you have to have a Bear's Ball in your side deck. If you played the Trunks, Gasoline Trunks, you have to make sure you have Brawly Crown of Retributions, just to get rid of them. So you have to really go out your way. But it seems like now that they're slowing down the quote unquote power creep, and now they're focusing on putting in more tech within the cards. Because if you look at Yellow U7, that's everything in that set as a whole. There's a few cards you rely on, right? Flying Nimbus, Giant Ball if you want, Final Flash, but the fact even the extra battle cards is a thing. Like that's what helped me yesterday was I was using a Z extra battle card Final Confrontation and restanding my foil Frieza in foil Frieza. It's a foil card I have in real life. But I was standing my Frieza, the one because I did swap one, go into the 4-drop Frieza, I would swing and then he would gain a blocker. So that actually was a benefit, and I was able to stay at 2 to 3 life all the way to turn 5. So you have to really invest in it. And then I feel like there's more text on the card itself. It's not like it used to be where it's like draw one card, this card gains crit for the turn. Now it's like if you have this many extra cards, you see energy, your opponent can't do this. Like Explosive Dance is a card that is a must. And that card actually saved me from dealing with yellow. So
yeah, I think cards like Explosive Dance are just made to at least keep you in the game from decks that are just going to floodgate you every turn. It gives you a chance to say, I'm going to do the same thing, which can be a good and a bad thing. I think with Red, arguably, Bandai sometimes gets a little carried away with their archetypes and how strong they make them and the sequencing and synergies that we Americans that and not just Americans but just players in general, we find like broken combinations that they overlook. But yeah, as a red player, I'm happy to see it. It gives me more options to say I'm not just going to sit here and have to Koitsukai and try to Broly Crown and figure out my way to just punch, because if I don't have a defense mechanism, I have to combo all the cards from my hand, yada, yada, yada. So now we don't have to do that. But it is setting the game up for floodgate pass mentality. And I don't know if that's going to be very healthy for the game in the long run.
Yeah, about that. So you say that with the floodgates, I think that Bandai were trying to make strong floodgates for other colors because they realized, okay, these other cards do need a certain type of quote unquote defense or mechanic for it to, back up the gameplay. But do you feel like most floodgates now will be limit one at a time, right? Because Explosive Dance is actually really, really strong, and they didn't leader lock it. They didn't say mono red. They say if your leader is red, I think. For what?
That limit one, it gives you 4 in a deck, and then you can use other cards. It actually kind of forces you to sequence better, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could plug it twice if it was limit 2, but I feel like there's certain situations where every deck now is made to where it's like if you do floodgate, you have a way to out combo and draw cards and get back in the game to where you're almost even in hand again.
Right.
My opinion personally, and call me crazy, I think they should just take the floodgates away and just go back to combo power and go back to math, because then it would balance the game in such a way to where people aren't just floodgate pass, floodgate pass, floodgate pass, and then whoever gets the 7 energy first and plays the craziest monster wins.
That I miss those days where you would tap 6 energy and play the Babidi, and then you would search up and play all the other 6 heavy beaters. It got hit in set 1 and set 2, but I had this card here. This is my favorite card. Rapid Onslaught, Super Saiyan Blue Son Goku. Still, this is way before Victory Strike. This is my favorite card to this day. I remember the days where this card 5K to 5 drop 2Ks 20Ks was a threat. It was a huge threat back then. And I mean, with yellow being hit to a degree, yellow is still not dead. I don't think yellow is far from
not dead at all.
It's not dead at all. People were saying that in the chat.
As I was talking before we started this video, I'm going through my Majin deck, and I'm literally like looking like half my deck is just yellow good staples.
Yellow good staples.
There's like a few cards that are arguably playable in any other yellow deck as well. So it's like yellow, I don't think is ever gonna go anywhere.
Yeah.
I think the developer for yellow just has a hard on for it, and it's like, it's their strongest color. It always has been. Yellow and blue have arguably been the strongest colors ever since Dragon Ball's been around. And we've had bits and pieces of that metas where it's like, okay, red's the strongest, green's the strongest.
Right.
So yeah, I don't think yellow's going anywhere. And even with decks like Yellow U7, you can tech in anything you want in that deck as well.
Yeah. I feel like and I agree with that. And you say blue and yellow has always been good. I mean, just to see Aegis come back, I thought that was really cool. How I just felt like when they banned hit their Revoker, I felt like they probably saw someone probably side decked that, or they probably knew in advance, okay, somebody's gonna discover hit is a great card. Cause think about it, if you put hit Revoker in Yellow U7, you just adding it's power creep. I mean, it's you're adding more power. So when Yellow U7 player go against Gogeta, they ain't going to sweat about Aegis. Okay, hit Revoker, no problem. Now let me go into my 6 drop. I made a post the other day on the Facebook page saying that the Revoker 6-drop Goku is the real SCR. I know we talked about that the other day. Huh?
100%.
Yeah. Multiple Awakenings is the real SCR. Honestly, and I told you this on the phone yesterday that with Victory Strike being the card, don't get me wrong, the guy where I'm excited. I'm actually hyped. I hope I do pull it, but now that I think more in a competitive play way now, not like I'm still on the hype train, Victory Strike, whatever, but now that I have a balance of being hyped over Victory Strike, but also seeing the reality of what SCR you really need. What's the real quote unquote SCR in the deck? By going on Untied, help you understand that Victory Strike card is not the way. State of the Gods is not the way. It's, and I'm gonna say this right now. It's Gohan Piccolo or the Bursting Rage SCR, because the Multiple Awakenings is the real secret rare. The fact that you just withstand it based on the number of Z battle cards in your Z energy, and you just swing, and then the fact that you could take a life with with the new Z extra card, it's a real threat. And honestly, I would tell you this: I fear that card even more than the secret rare. I fear that card the most. That 6-drop, and obviously, just for you guys, you should know this. Mekikabura, I think it's called Mekikabura, the guy ceiling, the one you tap to and you declare the name. I'm thinking about side decking that in. I'm thinking about honestly side decking that in, and I'm thinking about side decking in Koisi Kai's more often now, because you could play Robotic Repulse in that deck as well.
I think Koisekai is going to be arguably up for the next card that they're either going to limit or ban, because it's going to be one of those cards where it's like, oh, I'm playing Koisekai in my main just because everybody's playing cards on my turn, and I've been playing Koisekai in my deck for over a year now. Right.
Like
in my main deck.
And yeah, I remember when I was playing, like I said, playing Vegito for so long. Vegito, the deck is it gotten so much stronger, and there's people been just so you guys know, may have been asking me about Vegito. Am I still gonna play it? Yes. Am I gonna play Yellow U7? I am gonna play Yellow U7 because it does fit my brand, and I love U7. But I've been so in love with just learning the other decks that are competitive, and it just brings a bigger joy. And then going against Yellow U7, and this is gonna sound crazy, going against Yellow U7 makes me not want to play U7. Because I guess because the perspective is that being on Untap taught me a lot, dude. Like I kept playing it until I beat it, because I was like, okay, there has to be a way to beat this deck, and that's the key to understanding the next meta is if you can find a way to aggro it, you will be fine. I think Blue might have trouble with it because Blue is a slow build up. And also people are asking me about Invoker as well. I had a few people ask me, is OG Invoker okay, and is Android 17 Invoker okay? And I'm just gonna clarify this. I know you played the new Invoker a while back. OG Invoker is in shout out to DBS, look out for saying this. OG Invoker is in a good spot when it comes to casual play or just to mess around at locals. Same thing with Android 17, but I wouldn't bring it to Nats. I would not bring OG Invoker to Nats.
See, Android 17 to me, all right, I've always thought this about the deck. The deck is a sleeper deck. It's just waiting for Gohan to get out of the meta.
Oh, Ray U7 Gohan, you mean?
No. 17 Invoker.
Yeah. What about
Gohan is out of the meta?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Green Gohan. Yeah. How do you feel about?
But they do keep introducing barrier removal, so that doesn't help the deck.
No. How do you feel about Android 16 being banned?
I think it's fair. I think Gohan did too much, but they wanted Gohan to be good. I didn't think they were going to hit it before Nats, but they wanted Gohan to be good for the year. They wanted green players to come back.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. With the new Go Bros is still in a good spot. I actually enjoy playing against Go Bros. I think I know Legends got top with that. Apparently, it's a hard deck to learn. Easy to play by reading the cards, but hard to sequence. And I think that we live in the time where Dragonball Super Card Game is where you literally just have to sequence any deck that you play. Learn how to play other decks. Someone had asked me in a messenger, how do I learn other decks. And obviously, I don't have every single card, but what I did was I don't have all of it, but I have the green. I have the green U7 Gohan build. This is basically the budgeted version of the deck. I don't have all like I don't have.
The deck is still good.
The deck is still good.
They're saying, "Oh, like the deck's still good." We'll see. We'll see what happens at Nats, and if it wins again, I'll laugh.
Yeah, I'll laugh too because I this is just like the core, the basic core of it. But just by playing the basic core, it taught me how the deck works. And that's what I'm doing now. Like I don't have like the negate from that particular set, but I have Shocking Death Ball. I have Homicidal Clones. Just to kind of get an idea. But the deck, I'm still glad that the deck is still playable. I am gonna miss Golden Frieza. I actually am gonna miss it. Like I say, being on Team RaZe.
That's my teammate Eric Hill. Rest in peace.
Yeah, man, that card there, it really hit but you know what?
He was so upset.
I hope it gets rebooted. And I'm looking forward to see what the next thing is. So we're almost out of time. Is there anything you like to say or shout out?
I would like to say next year, don't make Nats capped at 500. Make sure you get your player invite pass downs correct, because unfortunately this year I won't be able to play Nats because of all that.
Yeah.
And it's really unfortunate. I was looking forward to that all year, try to get my invite. Other than that, like, I don't know where the future of the game's going with Fusion World coming out. I have positive hopes, and I'm hoping that next year will be a little bit more bitter for the competitive scene.
All right, there you have it. Thank you so much, guys, for listening, and hope you enjoyed this little interview with Josh. Be sure to follow him at his account. And Josh, where can they follow you at, my man?
If you go to my YouTube, it is Barber Saiyan Army.
Barber Saiyan Army, which is a sequel to Vegeta Saiyan Army. Just kidding. All right, I'm MU7. I'll talk to y'all later. And remember, the Lord loves you. Bye.
And this bitch going crazy.